What's up, y'all? My name is Rico. I'm one of the hosts of Greenpeace's podcast, What We Need Now, which is on SoundCloud, Spotify, and all of the wonderful places where people get podcasts. How you doing now, Food Pictures? Yes, welcome. Come on in. We're going to be doing something very special in just a second. We have a poet who's going to be coming on to share some of her work. If you weren't already aware, Greenpeace has a podcast. We actually just launched a podcast last year, and it features folks who are working at the intersections of climate justice, racial justice, and other movement work. And we are able to give people a platform, and they come onto the show, and we talk about their work, what inspires them, and usually we leave pretty inspired ourselves. And so this month, we are doing a mini-sode. It's our first mini-sode. And so we have K-Love the Poet, who's going to be joining me in just a second to do some poetry. So if you have a friend who loves poetry, go ahead and tag them. If you know that art is an essential part of climate justice and protecting our planet, then go ahead and tag any of your friends who love poetry. And I'm going to get K-Love on here in just 1 second. So let's find her. All right. I'm going to let K-Love know to come on over and join us. Again, tag any of your friends who like poetry. In just a second, we're going to be featuring an amazing poet from Chicago. And she's going to be sharing some wisdom with us, some words of wisdom, as well as some amazing work. So let's see. Appreciate all the love and all the folks who are coming in so far. Let's see. So it doesn't seem like she's come online just yet, so I'll get her to join. 1 second. So again, my name is Rico, and I host a podcast that Greenpeace put out last year entitled What We Need Now. And so every single month we put out a brand new episode, and we talk about things like environmental justice, Black and Indigenous allyship. We talk about all the intersections between folks who are impacted by climate issues and the people who are actually doing that work on the front lines. And so if you haven't already heard of it, if you like podcasts, whether you listen to them on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Stitcher, there's a million of them. Wherever you listen to them, you can find us. It's just Greenpeace. You can search that, or you can search What We Need Now to find it. And so K-Love is going to be joining us in just a second, and she is this month's guest. And so we're doing a lot of things for the first time this month. We don't normally have poets on, for example. I've never done one of our things live on Instagram. It's normally an audio medium, so I'm a little bit in my head about it right now because I'm used to just focusing on the audio. But in this case, we are going to do just a little bit of some visual content as well as bringing on a poet in just a second. So again, if you have any friends who you think might enjoy hearing a little poem, maybe get some inspiration, I would promise you will not be disappointed when we get started in just 1 second. And while you're waiting for us to get started, if you haven't already subscribed, you can go to SoundCloud.com or wherever you listen to podcasts and hit that subscribe button so that you'll be ready to receive our newest episode when it comes out on Thursday. So in the comments, tell me, what inspires you? What brings you to the movement, to climate, and to Greenpeace? Let us know in the comments. I see Hannah and Piper. What's up, Piper? I think that's the Piper I know. You taught your business students about Greenpeace today. Showed them the Lego and Shell campaign. Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, the fact that not everyone has clean water, that's definitely something that we need to take action on. We actually, our very first episode of the podcast, it was about Flint and how we sort of arrived at that. Yeah, plastic is a major issue. All right. That's true. Everything is based on the environment. If we don't have a healthy planet, we can't have healthy lives. And one of the things we talk about a lot on the podcast is how it seems like racial justice and some of these other fights are separate, but in fact, they're actually they're all connected. So. Awesome. I like that. A sustainable vision says social equity reasons and health of people primarily. I totally agree. Lenny Liu, a climate researcher currently working on a report for solutions to the climate crisis in Australia. Super important for folks like you who are doing that research to have platforms where you can share it so people know so they know how they can take action. And K-Love is going to be joining just. Let's see. Hey, what's up, K-Love? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. I'm really. I'm excited about the conversation that we have. I'm looking to share it, put out the people. I think I told you I've been thinking about it and got inspired by some of the stuff that you said. I even had a dream inspired by some of the stuff that you said on the podcast. So,
Nice.
What'd you say?
I said nice.
Yeah. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. Easy breezy.
That's
easy breezy task wise. Heavy emotional wise, but I'm making it.
Well, I'm glad you're able to take some time and jump on this IG live with me. So we had a really, really good conversation last week. And I'm really looking forward to sharing it with folks. But one thing I want to start off with, just like, if you to give folks who have never heard of you, how do you describe your work?
I think that my work is a brand of healing. It's a brand of healing, whether it's mentoring or just performing poetry or just loving on somebody. It's a form of healing. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I definitely believe that as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, so for folks who don't know K-Love is a poet, spoken word, international artist, a healer, a mentor, a facilitator. She does work with a program to help reduce recidivism and mentoring called the Green Reentry Program through Iman. So she's doing a whole lot of stuff and is just somebody that I find personally very inspiring. And so
thank you.
Yeah, you already know. Yeah, I would love to hear a piece from you, hear a poem.
Hear a poem, okay. I guess I'll do a piece called The Power of Thought. Something that has greatly shaped my my outlook on life and development. And I know that the name of succeeding in this life is who can most quickly shift their perspective. It's not about not having any problems at all. It's about changing how you look at what you perceive as a problem. So I wrote a poem about the secret, the law of attraction. I'd be like, I can have it. Whether I want it or need it, I use mind over matter, no magic. I will it into my life like a paraplegic. I'm strategic with my thoughts, selective with my vocab, protective with my notepad. I only script prescriptions, call my paper echinacea, because my words boost immune systems. My tongue gives birth to life so much, it's got my uterus feeling insecure on this position. I had to upgrade my phone service, calling all my thoughts into submission. I found out that speaking only gains attention, but thinking makes the universe listen. So I'm at his ears. I'm thinking affirmations into the atmosphere, absent of fear. Remember what they taught you. They said the power of life and death was in the tongue, and that's only part two, a part to a whole. If you want to have ultimate power, learn how to get your thoughts under control. Make it a habit. What you think is what you speak, and a predecessor to what happens. So feed your thoughts good food. Consider what you're planting. Learn the law of attraction. It's not what you want or what you don't want. It's what you focus on with passion. Your ears are the gatekeepers to your thoughts. You better guard them with your life. Treat the company you keep like the liquor you drink. Never mix their dark with your light. And even in the midst of your darkest nights, don't focus on what's going wrong. Pull out a pen, write a list of what's going right. Change your perspective. And if you still can't see your way out your storm, you might have to change your specs then. Get your glasses fixed. If your glass is half empty, you better remember that's plenty to a thirsty man. So you better drink up. The universe is abundant. You create what you think up. So think up. Even when you're down, get you some note cards and quote God and post them all around. My note cards say, I am beautiful. I am powerful. I got the victory right now. My note cards say, I am whole. I am confident. I know I'm God deep down. My note cards say there's peace in my mental. My note cards say my body be a holy temple, divine, healing itself. So I'm feeling myself. I'm building myself till I become a building myself full of faith. I keep a smile on my face. I keep my spirits high, my soul doped up off hope and love, because I know that my smallest desires are enough to make the heavens open up. I know that the world is at my arm's reach, so I load my thoughts and arm my speech with prosperity. I see the unseen with full clarity. I know the secret. Cash ain't germane to me. Finances find me. Money ain't a thing to me. I'm a prophet, and prophets only hear prophets, so I'm so deaf to deficits like Jermaine Dupri. See, I see myself financially set. I'm going to say it again. I see myself financially set. You better see yourself financially set, because you'll never receive a check if you stay focused on debt. That's why when I get dressed, I style myself like a star, calling my bus pass a Bentley till I think me a car. Blink me a better day. I'm careful what I say. I think win-win whenever I'm battling. I tell myself I'm doing better than keeping my head above water. I'm backstroking, doggy paddling, never settling. I'm saddling the best, and to usher love in my life. To usher love in my life, since I'm a queen, I think king when I'm thinking. To usher love in my life, and I won't stop thinking until I'm finally with the love of my life. Why not? I tap into the spirit of my aunt. God is the truth. She told me that my thoughts set the order of the universe. My ancestors used hieroglyphics, but I'm going to use this verse, and you're wondering, what's my intent? My intent is to touch minds that are in tough times with plus signs, so your thoughts stay positive. The opposite of subtraction. You better destroy anything or anyone in your path that's a distraction. You coming between me and my passion, I'm packing a magnet mindset. I'm having mind sex with my goals. Remembering many I called, few I chose. The blame is never on the uninformed, but those who already know. When your third eye is open, your responsibility increases. So if you're sitting here wondering why you are where you are right now, simply stop and ask yourself, what have I been thinking? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that piece. I remember that one.
Yes, oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, that kind of it reminds me of what you were talking about in the conversation the other day. Talking about finding the salt in the sugar and just finding the sugar in the salt. So using your brain kind of shift your perspective so that you can actually change your situation.
Because that's really how we're going to survive everything. That's how we're going to survive everything, by finding the good in what is happening and focusing on that and amplifying that and talking about that and promoting that and living in that and really experiencing that. Is so easy for us to get caught up in the unpleasant of what's happening. And before you know it, every conversation is about how bad it is and how, bad it is. And, if you believe in the law of attraction, whatever you focus on with passion. So if you're focusing on how bad it is, you're going to keep getting how bad it is. So finding that little sugar in the salt and saying, I'm going to focus on this right here.
I think that's so important because, a lot of the folks who are following this page, they're following because they're concerned about things like climate change. They're worried about folks that don't have clean water. They're worried about people that don't have access to public health and things like that. And COVID was like a little preview of what climate change really, really can bring on. And it already has, and for many people, but what it will really bringing on for folks all over the globe. And so this is a good practice for us to be able to see when we're really, really under it. How can you find the things that you're...
Yeah. And it's a muscle. It's a muscle like anything else. And if you don't work out your perspective muscle, you won't be able to fight the fight that you're going to have to fight. Sometimes we are in situations where our hands are tied as far as actually physically moving something and shifting it around. But the fact that our minds are not tied gives us a different way to look at it so that we can experience it differently. And that's with everything. You know, if you think about some of the great leaders of the world, when I think about some of the great leaders that reflect African Americans, listening to them about spending time incarcerated and being in what they call the hole, and where they have to take their mind so that they can survive that time period. Mental agility is key, and it gets better, and it increases by way of learning how to shift our perspective.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. So for folks who are hearing about you for the very first time, obviously they got to check out the What We Need Now podcast, which is coming out on Thursday, soundcloud.com/whatweneednow, on all the platforms if you just search What We Need Now. But where else can people find your work?
You can find me on Instagram at KLoveThePoet, at KLOVETHEPOET. You can find me on Facebook, KLoveThePoet. You can Google KLoveThePoet. You can find me on YouTube. I have an Etsy shop where I sell my books. I have a children's book. I have another regular book that has a journal featured in it. I have decks of affirmation cards so that you can remind yourself how to stay positive. Couple of different places. I'm all over. But Instagram, I tend to frequent Instagram the most. So if you follow me on Instagram, you got me.
All right. Well, yeah, once again, thank you for dropping in. And, looking forward to hearing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me. I look forward to it too. Nice to meet all of you guys. I hope to see you soon.
All right. And again, check out that episode on Thursday drops. All right.